Let's get straight into the top 3 deadliest crane accidents in the world, starting with one that changed safety standards forever. On September 11, 2015, a Liebherr LR11350 crawler crane collapsed at the Grand Mosque in Mecca. The German-built Liebherr LR11350 is a crawler crane capable of lifting to 1,350 tons, with a main boom length of 150 meters and a maximum height of nearly 200 meters when fitted with a derrick attachment. It runs on a dual-track crawler system designed to distribute ground pressure evenly, even under extreme load. Its lattice boom sections are made from high-tensile steel, allowing precise load control through a network of hydraulic winches and counterweight systems. On that day, the crane had been placed in an out-of-service configuration, but the main boom was left raised almost vertically instead of being lowered to the ground. When wind speeds reached 55 miles per hour, the structure became aerodynamically unstable. The raised boom acted like a giant sail, transferring excessive lateral forces to the slewing ring and crawler base. The boom then twisted off-axis, causing the entire upper structure to collapse backward. The main boom struck the roof of the Grand Mosque, crashing into the courtyard below. 111 people were killed and nearly 400 injured. Investigators later found that the operators had ignored a critical line in the safety manual. If wind speeds exceed 45 miles per hour, lower the boom completely. Further inspection showed microfractures and stress deformation at the base, likely caused by prolonged vertical parking in high temperatures. That weakened structure could not resist the sudden wind load. The raised boom had already placed continuous stress on the base structure. When the storm hit, the weakened components failed instantly. The total damage exceeded $200 million, halting expansion work on the Grand Mosque. The Saudi bin Laden group responsible for the project was suspended from new contracts for months. This accident became a case study worldwide on how even a technically advanced crane can fail if basic operational safety is ignored. On April 27, 2019, a tower crane collapsed in Seattle's South Lake Union during disassembly above a new Google office building. The Liebherr 550E CH crane had been operating normally until that afternoon, when crews began taking it apart. Dismantling a tower crane is meant to be a slow, controlled process, each steel pin removed one by one, under full supervision. But on that day, workers removed more than 50 structural pins too early. Those pins were the main connectors between the tower sections. Without them, the structure had no rigidity. At around 3:30 p.m., wind gusts reached 45 miles per hour. With most of its connecting pins already out, the upper mast twisted under lateral wind load and collapsed. The entire crane fell within 5 seconds, its boom striking Mercer Street below and crushing 6 vehicles. 2 iron workers on the crane, Travis Corbett and Andrew Yoder, were killed instantly. 2 civilians on the street, Sarah Wong and Alan Gustad, also lost their lives. Initial reports blamed wind conditions, but investigations later confirmed human error as the main cause. The dismantling crew had skipped critical safety steps, ignored the manufacturer's disassembly manual, and worked without licensed supervision, all to finish ahead of schedule. The consequences were severe. More than $150 million in damages and settlements were filed. Sarah Wong's family alone received $54 million. 3 companies, Northwest Tower Crane, Omega Morgan, and Morrow Equipment, were held responsible.
19-year-old Seattle Pacific University student Sarah Wong, retired City of Seattle employee Alan Gustad, and 2 iron workers, Travis Corbett and Andrew Yoder, lost their lives that day. Northwest Tower Crane admitted it was at fault, but Omega Morgan refused to make changes.
The incident led to major regulatory reform. Washington State passed House Bill 2022, requiring certified inspectors at every stage of crane assembly and dismantling. immediate shutdowns if wind speeds exceed 30 miles per hour, criminal penalties for falsifying safety records. These new rules permanently changed crane operations in the U.S. Northwest, a direct response to an accident caused not by machinery failure, but by neglecting basic engineering procedure. 2 years later, the same story repeated itself, this time in Kelowna, British Columbia. On July 12, 2021, a Liebherr LR11350 CH16 tower crane collapsed during disassembly in Kelowna, British Columbia. The crane had been used to construct a 25-story residential high-rise and stood approximately 80 meters tall, with a maximum lifting capacity of 16 tons. The crew began dismantling the upper sections that morning. The process required the crane's slewing unit and counter jib to be removed in a precise order, with each joint secured by high-tensile steel pins and temporary tie-downs. However, the procedure was not followed correctly. Investigators later confirmed that one section of the mast was still under compressive load when the connecting pins were removed. This caused an immediate loss of structural stability, and within seconds, the tower began to buckle. The upper section rotated off its axis and fell, bringing the entire structure down across several city blocks. The jib and counter jib struck a nearby office building, cutting through the top floors before collapsing onto a church. 5 people were killed, 4 crew members on the crane, and 1 office worker in an adjacent building. Forensic analysis found several procedural violations. 1 crew member had less than 1 hour of practical training before taking part in the disassembly. Safety pins were removed out of sequence without first releasing the section load. No licensed professional engineer or certified supervisor was on site during the dismantling. Wind monitoring equipment had not been calibrated or logged that day. The Liebherr LR11350 itself was mechanically sound. The failure was purely operational. Its modular design relies on balanced load transfer between the mast and counter jib. Removing pins prematurely destroys that balance. Once that happened, gravity and torque did the rest. The collapse prompted a nationwide review of crane safety across Canada. WorkSafe BC and the Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety introduced stricter rules on mandatory certification and minimum training hours for dismantling crews, independent engineering sign-off before and after disassembly, real-time wind monitoring during all tower crane operations. The Kelowna disaster became a turning point for Canada's construction industry, a technical failure that exposed how even small procedural shortcuts can bring down hundreds of tons of engineered steel.